Yeah, I just went on a doctor's visit here in Japan. Let me show you this. Okay, you can tell that's for his shoulder. I had a rotator cuff injury from jiu-jitsu because I body slammed this guy. And I got an injection shot, a doctor's visitation, and an x-ray for a whopping about $17. Does that show up? Yeah, right there. See that? That's in pennies because it's in yen. About $17.90. Actually less than that because the yen's stronger than the dollar, but you know, the Fed's currency inflation aside, even if it was an even 100 yen to the dollar, I don't know what it would cost in America to go to the doctor and get an x-ray and get an injection and have all the treatment and therapy I got, but I guarantee you it wouldn't be $17 or $18. There's no fucking way. I hate the American healthcare system. Every time I go to the hospital or the doctor in Japan, I almost want to cry because it doesn't really cost anything. I'm always worried anyway, like, oh, what's it going to cost? And it's nothing. The ambulance rides are free. You know, I don't even know where to start. I'm really happy, you know, I'm getting help with this injury. I'll be fine soon. I'm going back to jiu-jitsu, but man, in America, I would just probably avoid the hospital and stay hurt for several months and try and work it out on my own because it's totally unaffordable even if you have insurance. Plus you don't want to use your insurance because it'll cost more later. I mean, it's crazy. I feel really bad for Americans. I mean, you don't live in a first world country. You don't. You're getting raped from every angle. You're overtaxed, you're overregulated, you have no health care, basically none. You really don't have any. Cops can arrest you for anything. The police can search you for any reason. They can write their own warrants. The FBI might even try and ensnare you in entrapment. It's ridiculous. And you're spending half your discretionary taxes on what? Blowing people up across the ocean. For nothing. All you're doing is inflating contracts for military-related companies like Lockheed Martin. And that's it. You're just creating excuses to use certain toys that are very, very expensive virtually for nothing, because the war on terrorism is a joke. The war is on you. The war is on freedom. That's what it is. They are the terrorists. They're the ones fondling you in the airports and dosing kids with radiation, and they've put so much crap in your food that I don't even know where to start. By the way, there's a somewhat of an ad on my site where you can go get seeds for non-GMO foods. If you're into that, you're into gardening or something. I'm not saying replace all your food like that, but if you can, you know, it's worth it. And if you put in my name, Ryan311, I just picked that number because that's the day it was, and that's the anniversary of the quake in Japan, and I can remember it. If you put in Ryan311, you get 10% off. I mean, it's sad, but you have to have people growing organic, and I mean actual organic food. They changed what counts as organic now, so it's not really organic anymore. But you have to have people doing that because Monsanto is poisoning the food. That Roundup spray they use, it has a slew of problems with it. Everything's causing cancer. I mean, the preservatives, the MSG, the things they put in your food is causing you to have health problems, and then you have no health care. Grow a little bit of your own food, you know, get grass-fed cows. I used to think that was all just like, I don't know, I just associated with like hippie bullshit, sort of. Just a bunch of granola, you know, end-earther types. And there is a faction like that that's all about that stuff, but that is not a reason to not take care of yourself and get into that and learn about those kinds of things and get the non-GMO foods and get your raw foods, clean foods. I'm all for a balanced diet. I don't believe in rejecting meat or anything like that. I think you need to eat everything, but you need to eat as healthily as possible, and the stuff you're getting at the store is so packed with stuff. I mean, our animals are pumped up with all these different weird hormones and antibiotics and things. It's disgusting. So roll on over to I think it's called Wholesome Seeds or whatever. It's on the top of my site. Take a look at that, or just Google around and find something, you know. It's a good idea. I'm just so pissed off that the FDA, you know, it's just there not to protect you. It's just there to facilitate money for Big Pharma. You're literally being poisoned, slowly poisoned. And our healthcare system is just a medical industrial complex, and that goes for mental health as well. They did not have all these mental disorders when I was a child that they have now, that they have a pill for everything. They've got Adderall and Paxil and Wellbutrin and Prozac and all this stuff, you know, and a lot of them are just normal teenage problems and things too. And that's not to say there aren't any mental disorders. It's not to say there isn't anyone who doesn't have a problem paying attention to stuff, but I think a lot of that's more environmental than internal. There's something wrong with the environment. I think a lot of it's in our food. Try changing your diet before you ever do anything. Don't get hooked onto a pill a day. I mean, they are paid to lie to you. You can't trust the American healthcare system at all. They don't have any of those drugs in Japan. I think they're lying. I think they're lying. I think the healthiest thing would be eating right and getting our healthcare system in order, and to do that we need a free market system. You have to allow people to cross state lines to get insurance. That's a very easy thing. It doesn't take massive legislation or anything like that. All it has to, really, is deregulation. You get the protectionist policies off, you allow people to cross state lines, you allow there to be competition, real competition for insurance, and the price will come down. And the total cost will come down. They need to lift the federal mandates on states to say that you have to give free health care to illegals. Look, if someone's illegal, unless it's an emergency, if they're bleeding to death or something, of course you got to take care of anybody that's a real emergency. But if it's not, especially if someone's just like pregnant and having a kid or whatever, you shouldn't have to pay for that if they're illegal. You know, if they're illegal and you find that out, they should go home. Tough. I'm sorry. Come over the legal way. A lot of people do it from all over the world. You can legally come and then you can go to the hospital. I just don't understand how we have all these terrible problems with pretty simple solutions and nothing gets done year after year. That's why I'm voting Ron Paul. I mean, he's the only honest person, the only one with a plan to take care of it. And if you want to keep Medicaid and Medicare, which I do believe we need for the poor and the elderly, we're not going to have any money to pay for it if we don't stop spending trillions of dollars bombing kids all over the world. We have to end the empire to save the republic.